Regular reflection can be a really critical part of our growth as leaders and as humans. Today, I'm going to show you 3 tools that I use, and you're going to learn a little bit about me along the way. Regular reflection in our lives can be really powerful. It can help us remember, hold ourselves accountable, give us perspective, and boost our learning based on what we've done before, what we want to do ahead, and then looking back on what we want to do ahead, did we do that or did we not? I'm going to share with you 3 tools that I use for daily, weekly, and annual reflections. The daily is something I do every single morning. It takes me less than 30 seconds, probably takes me 10 seconds to be honest. Really helpful. The weekly takes me about an hour. I do it every Sunday morning. And then the annual I do once a year, usually near the end of December. I usually take a little weekend retreat by myself, look back at the past year, look ahead at the future year. You're going to be able to download the tools that I use, the templates, make a copy for yourself, and then please make it your own, change it, amend it, delete it, edit it, however you want to do it to make it your own. But first, I want to just kind of walk you through each of these tools and how I use them. I want to begin with the daily option. It looks a little something like this. So it's just this very simple, and I use these in Google Docs, which is how I'm going to share them with you. I bookmark this, so on my regular mornings, I check the news and social media and things like that. It's usually one of the first things that I do, and I just put in a little template here. And usually what I do is I have 4 things that I think about that are kind of the foundations for me. If I can really get these things right, everything else kind of builds on that. What's right for me and what's right for you is going to be really different, but I just want to share with you what I do. So what I do is I add in here meditation. We'll just keep this short so it shows up there. Activity, my exercise or going for a walk or whatever it might be doing, my eating, and my drinking. And these are the things that I just track every day. You might choose different things. You might choose sleep, steps, how much time you spend learning a language, reading, how many pages you've written in your great American novel you're writing, anything that is important for you. And the key here is to keep this really simple, short, and quick. So I don't want any complicated metrics here. So if I meditated, I put an X, and if I didn't, I put a dash. That's it. So I just think back yesterday, did I meditate? I did. I put an X. Activity, I went for a long run. I just put that there. I might put a walk. I might put WO for workout. No one's going to see this, so it doesn't have to make sense to them. This is just for you, right? And then eating, I just give myself a score on a scale of 1 to 3. And you can change those and invert those and do those however you want. You can give yourself an A, B, a C, however you want to do that. So yesterday I'll give myself a 2. And then drinking, I just track my alcohol consumption on a daily basis. And last night I had a gin and tonic. So I just put that there. Okay. And I just do that every day. And it takes me a lot less than it took me to type this in and explain that with you. At the end of the week, you can add in different things and give yourself an overall score. And then what I do is I just make a copy of this and I put my copy at the top. And then I just delete whatever my content is here. And then I start over and I track these same things. So you can just kind of build this in however you want. And then I always put the newest one at the top. And then you can go back. You might put a date here if you want to do that. But then you just go back. And after a while, you'll have weeks and weeks and weeks of tracking that you look for patterns. You can look for learning, anything like that. So that's the daily. It takes me about 10 seconds every day, but it is really useful in my accountability. So that's the first tool. The other one is a little bit different. This is my weekly routines. But I take about an hour every Sunday morning, usually over a cup of coffee after I've had breakfast and kind of checked in, woke up a little bit. Something I really look forward to. I usually put on the TV in our living room, maybe a little campfire video from YouTube that's seasonal, matching the seasons and the vibe, and a little crackling fire in the background. I find really helpful. And I always begin with the week in review. I look back at my calendar for the past week. I think about what went on, what were big events, and I just put the dates here. So last Sunday to this Sunday. And then I just go ahead and add in here, these are my 4 foundations. Again, yours might be really different. And then I have any learnings or lessons, like meditation really was inconsistent this week, really want to do better. Activity, really great, a lot of really good activity, good mix, really like that. Eating, turns out healthy meal planning ahead of time means I don't eat unhealthy over and over again in the leftovers. Drinking was about where I want it to be, so I feel really good about that. And then this sharpening the saw, I just put in there kind of a summary about how I feel I've done at the things above and maybe any goals that I have. Then work priorities. I go back to my week planning, which you're going to see in a little bit, and the work priorities that I had there, I copy those and I paste them here. And these might just are some examples. So just any reflections I have on the work priorities I laid out ahead of time, I look back on those. And then I look at the key learnings, and these might be anything I look back on my calendar. These are personal and professional, might be a conflict or a difficult relationship or an insight that I've had. I might look back at my journal. I keep 2 journals. I keep a personal journal and a work sort of journal for ideas. I might look back at those and see some things. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 learnings. Sometimes I have 6 or 7 learnings. You just add those in. Once I've looked back at my week in review, I look ahead at the week ahead. And so here I might put today's date of Sunday through to the next week. I might put a few of the big things I have coming up. I look ahead at my calendar, see what's going on there. And then long term, I just usually map out the next 3 months and kind of the big things in my life. So the sharpening the saw might be some different goals that I have around that. Work priorities. I'll look ahead at my calendar and think, what are the big things going on? Often those are work projects, huge work projects that are kind of anchors in my week. Sometimes it's a personal thing, just whatever is ahead for me. And then I just list those things and then just a few thoughts that I want to keep in mind, like don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple is often one that I write KISS, keep it simple, stupid. I schedule exercise. Where do I want to get my exercise in the coming week? I usually map this out by day. What am I going to do each day? Then I look at my calendar and might put that into my schedule. Anything personal might just be, I'm trying to finish this book that I'm reading. That'd be really great. We got to get this taken care of around the house. Just anything personal I want to tend to. And then my evenings might have my daughter's basketball game on Monday and Wednesday. Might want to watch the Timberwolves game on Tuesday. We've got dinner with some friends on this day. Just might put some of those things down. And then the weekend, I might look ahead to next weekend. What are some of the things that are on my radar? I then, at the end of every week, I open this up and I've got last week's. I just copy last week's week in review, weekly planning, put them at the top, and off we go. And then the last one I'm going to show you pretty quickly here is this annual review and planning. You might do this quarterly. Sometimes I've done this quarterly, but generally I do at the end of each year. I've got next year, and so I might put here 2025. But I would actually go down and I would begin with the reflections on last year. So I'll look back at my journal, both journals. I'll look back at my calendar. I'll just go week by week and just look at the things that are there. This often evokes accomplishments and challenges and patterns and things like that. A trip I took last March that I really haven't thought about really helps me remember and connect with that. And this looking back at last year, I really encompass very personally and professionally, just kind of every aspect, family, relationships, work, accomplishments. And I just note these things. Sometimes I might even write down the big events of my life month by month. There might be 3 or 4 each month that I want to kind of return to. Note some big accomplishments and challenges of the past year, maybe some professional milestones, struggles or accomplishments. I always like to do this little wheel of life, which I've done here is modified. I give myself a score from 1 to 10, a few notes, aspirations for the coming year. I find this to be a helpful reflection tool. And then I always want to turn to my cornerstones, my purpose, my values. I'm always asking myself, who are you becoming? Very present. So I would just go through. This might take me maybe a half day, maybe an evening on my retreat, maybe a morning on the retreat, maybe a couple hours. I tend to flit in and out, listening to great music, maybe get another cup of coffee. And then I would come back maybe another time after a walk or something like that, and I would look forward to the next year. I'd come to the top of this document And I usually don't go in order. I like to kind of, what are personal goals? What am I excited about? What are my challenges? Oh, that reminds me that one of my goals is going to be this. Weekly, my daily routines, essentialism. What do I feel like I have handled or would like to have handled? What really needs improvement? What's kind of this year and beyond? So what might I want to accomplish over the next 3 years, the next 5 years? Where would I like to see my life in the next 7 to 10 years? There might be some professional projects here that I'm working on, updates to a website, a new speaking keynote that I'm doing. That might lay out here. And then I would outcome these, which might be draft a script, design slides, find a way to give it away for free to an audience so I can kind of test it and pilot that, and then book 3 times that I'm going to give that particular talk. Might be a way to do that. So I just find this looking back and looking forward to be really useful once a year. You might do it 4 times a year, quarterly, but these can be really useful tools. So I want to share those with you. You can find subscribers to my newsletter. We'll get these in the links. You'll be able to, there'll be templates in Google Docs. So you'll open up and it'll say, do you want to make a copy? Say yes, and then it's yours. You can change it, you can edit it, you can do whatever you want with it. I hope this is helpful to you. Reflection can be powerful. I find these really, really useful and absolutely worth my time every time that I do them. And hopefully you'll take a bit of time to do some reflection, maybe daily, maybe weekly, maybe yearly, maybe all of the above. Good luck to you. Thanks.